Yes.
If you only think about things that you want to achieve in life that you can imagine right now, you're missing out on a heck of a lot of things that can happen in the future.
Hello influencers, and welcome to another episode of Chats with Champions. In this episode I have Dr. Steve Simpson. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, Mani, and thank you for inviting me on your show.
It's great to have you. Dr. Steve is the author of the book Get Lucky Now. So first of all, can you tell us a little bit more about your book and what it's about?
I certainly can. It's about luck, and more specifically, it's about how I believe that luck is not random. I think there are things that all of us can do to attract more luck into our life.
Wow. And you've studied a number of people that are lucky, is that right?
Yes, I have. I've been lucky enough to work with some professional golfers. I work with the world champion poker player who's won more money online than any player in history.
Wow.
And we talk about luck a lot with him.
Okay, great. Okay, excellent. So what three bits of advice would you have for someone that considers themselves unlucky, and how do you create luck?
Well, first of all, a lot of people think they're unlucky, and they're not.
Yeah.
They actually just don't appreciate what they've got already. And it's called the lucky mindset.
Yeah.
If people who think they're lucky, for some reason, they tend to be lucky as well, even luckier.
Yeah.
So, three things. The first thing, which is a really boring one, because we all talk about that, is the importance of setting ourselves goals.
Okay.
And I have to say, I used to think that this was really important.
Yeah.
And I've changed my mind on that one.
Okay.
Because it seems to me that goals can actually be, a defeating self-prophecy, or it can put our focus in the wrong place. Because 9 out of 10 people that I talk to, I ask them what their goal is, and they tell me, they want to be this, that, or the other, and I can look into their eyes, and I know that's not really what they want. They're being an actor.
Yeah.
Now they're not lying. They're not lying to themselves, but they're just not allowing their true goal to surface.
Okay.
You see, so many of us end up doing not what we want to do, but what our friends and families think we should do.
Yes.
We kind of get brainwashed into it.
So how does one discover their true goal?
By really just adopting the attitude that I'm only going to do stuff that I like doing.
Yes.
I mean, that's the simplest thing.
Yes. Okay.
And we were in a room today, and I think people asked, who would change their job if they won a lot of money? And I reckon about 2/3 of the people put their hands up, and that's really sad.
Yes.
Because there should have been like 2 or 3 people that we could have rounded, with their hands up. We could have rounded them up, beaten a bit of sense into them. But so many people, unfortunately, they live in what I call day jail. And that's they tell us we only live once. And if that's true, and I'm not sure about that, if that's true, then we want to make the most of it.
Okay. And so that was your first thing. What about the second?
The second one is a lot of people that I talk to, particularly when they're having problems, they say, I wish I could go back to how I felt when I was a kid. So I would say, be a child.
Okay.
And there's one thing that children believe in, and that's magic. Do you believe in magic?
To a certain degree, yeah.
To a certain degree. You're not convincing me, although... So there's a little bit of a stretch goal for you in here. I want you to really believe in magic, like you did when you were a child.
Okay.
Because if you start believing in magic, guess what happens? Sometimes magic comes. Yeah. And if you only think about, speaking a little more logically, if you only think about things that you want to achieve in life that you can imagine right now, you're missing out on a heck of a lot of things that can happen in the future that will make even, more ambitious, challenging things occur.
So removing those limiting thoughts, those limiting beliefs. Okay.
Well, they're limiting. Every time you have a limiting thought, you put a limit.
That's right.
So why not believe
Hence
in the world?
The name.
Hence the name.
Yeah.
So how about living in the world of possibility?
Okay. Great.
Because that doesn't close any doors.
I like that. The world of possibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. And what about the third thing?
The third thing is, this is the tough one for everybody. We have to learn to let go of our ego. You see, we are, Homo sapiens as a race, we're blessed with a magnificent brain that has allowed us to come up with all sorts of creative ways to conquer the world, to just about demolish all of our rivals from the animal kingdom, and to grow our population to 8 billion people. In a world which is not a world of plenty. I mean, we're running out of food, we're running out of resources, but our brain keeps taking us to the next level. So because of that, we live in our conscious mind where we think everything can be planned for. We can have a strategy for everything and an answer for everything. But our unconscious mind, which is far bigger, far more powerful, is capable of coming up with much better solutions to anything that's put in its path. Our mistake, me just as well, you and everybody else, is that we are conditioned and rewarded for over-planning, overthinking, and over-stressing about stuff.
Very true.
And usually something in our life has to happen quite dramatic to give us a wake-up call, and we recognize that if we can trust our unconscious mind, that will take us out of just about any situation we're in. And the best way to do that, this is a really good tip for people, is to become an astronaut.
Okay.
You going to do that?
And what do you mean by that?
I mean go up into outer space. Because when you look out of the window of the space shuttle or whatever you're in, you'll see Oman, you know, where you were born. You'll see it down there. It looks like a little speck of sand. And you'll think of all the things that you used to worry down in there and in Abu Dhabi and all the other places you've been to. But you won't be thinking about worries anymore. You'll think of them as because you are physically detached. And that's why when astronauts come back, they're never the same people. They come back to exactly the same problems that they left behind, but they don't care about them so much. And when they're interviewed, they say that stuff. So they found a way of letting go of ego. Now, in the very unlikely event that you can't afford to go on a space shuttle, or you don't have that opportunity, or somebody says something stupid like you're too old to be an astronaut, well, then you just go out into the desert or into the country part where we are in London, and you embrace nature. Particularly at night, if you can look up into the skies and see all those billions of planets. And then you've got to have a huge ego not to recognize what an insignificant speck of dust in the cosmos that you are, and we are, and our problems are. And when you can do that, you can also recognize that you're just one of 8 billion people. And we all are one. You know, just like a flock of birds swarming around or a shoal of fish, we're all connected. Carl Jung used to call that the collective unconscious. And it doesn't really matter what you call it. I mean, if you're a scientist, you can say we're all connected by our DNA. It doesn't matter where in the world we come from. We all share largely the same genes. So there is some kind of reptilian, archaic remnant through our evolution that these are instincts, these are the primitive drives that we all have, that are there for us to access. And the harder we try to find where they are, the less likely we are to find them. Which is why I say let go of ego. Stop overstressing, calm yourself down, do good stuff like meditation and yoga, and you'll start to get thoughts arising from the unconscious, you know, which we call intuition.
Yes.
And you didn't ask me for my fourth tip, but I mean, when I work with people, the thing that I really want them to get from all of the things we've talked about is to trust their intuition, because their first thought is usually going to be their best thought.
Great. Well, look, if anyone would like to get more information about you, where can they go to your website?
Go to my website and my YouTube channel. You won't find my videos as professional as Munir's, but hopefully they're still worth watching.
I've seen your videos; they're pretty awesome. I'll put a link in the description below. Do you want to spell the website out?
Well, it's Dr. Stephen Simpson. It's Stephen with a PH, so that will confuse everybody. But if you
I'll put it down.
Put a link on there,
It'll be right here where I'm pointing right now. In text, that's right. So, thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button, and we will catch you on another video. Thank you very much, Dr. Steve, for coming and enlightening us.
Not at all.
I think we're very lucky that you gave us your time.
Well, I feel lucky. I feel lucky to have met you again today and for making me laugh.
Thanks.
Oh, hello Internet. Munir heard you like cat videos, so he hired me to talk to you. He makes videos to show you how to influence yourself through mindset changes and others through the power of persuasion. So when you hit the subscribe button now, you will get exclusive interviews, secrets, and mind-blowing tips on how to lead a more successful life.